In May of 2023, the world's first-ever combat field test of an advanced hypersonic missile took place between the United States and Canada, when two F-22 Raptors fired an AGM-183A tactical hypersonic missile at a target in the Canadian province of Newfoundland. This was a pivotal moment for the future of warfare because it marks the beginning of a new era where speed itself is a weapon. This is air power. What I have for you today is a special edition of our series, War on the Edge of Tomorrow. In this series, we explore the most cutting-edge battle-tested inventions and emerging technologies being used in today's conflicts and why they might change the face of modern war. The ability to travel faster than the speed of sound has long been the holy grail of aircraft design. For decades, the United States worked feverishly to push the envelope on what could be done to build a plane that would be fast enough to ensure air superiority over any potential enemies. These efforts culminated in the SR-71 Blackbird, which still holds the record as the fastest air-breathing manned aircraft ever created, capable of traveling up to 2,200 miles per hour. But even the mighty Blackbird isn't particularly fast by some measures. That title goes to a North American X-15 rocket plane, which hit a top speed of 4,520 miles per hour back in 1967. But all of these records pale in comparison to the speeds required for objects entering orbit around the Earth, which need to achieve speeds in excess of 17,500 miles per hour to accomplish their mission. And though no one flying today could hope to match orbital velocities, there is another option. If you want to go really fast, make your weapons re-entry vehicles that come back from space. In fact, that's exactly what Russia did in March of 2015 when they conducted a live fire test of their KH-47M2 Kinzhal hypersonic cruise missile. Traveling at a reported speed of over Mach 10, the Kinzhal became the first hypersonic weapon in history to successfully complete a full flight test. And this speed gave the Russian missile a number of advantages over traditional missile designs. Unlike other types of weapons like ballistic missiles that are generally very large and designed to carry large warheads over long distances, the Kinzhal is small enough to fit inside a standard Su-35 fighter jet's internal weapons bay. This means that, unlike many other kinds of hypersonic weapons, the Kinzhal doesn't need to be deployed from a bomber or a silo, giving it greater flexibility in terms of where and how it can be launched. Another advantage of the Kinzhal's size and speed is that it gives the Russian military more options when it comes to setting decoys and avoiding detection. Decoys are basically fake heat signatures that fool heat-seeking anti-missile systems into attacking them instead of the actual missile. Because the Kinzhal flies so quickly, it makes it much harder for missile defense systems to track it on radar, and thus increases the odds that it will not be intercepted before reaching its target. Now, while the Kinzhal is a remarkable piece of engineering, it's not without its flaws. Like all cruise missiles, the Kinzhal needs a propulsion system that produces thrust over an extended period of time, which requires that it carry fuel with it. This results in a weapon that has less explosive power than similar-sized airburst bombs. Additionally, the Kinzhal relies on data links to guide it to its destination, which means that it must remain within range of the platform that launched it. If the Kinzhal loses its data link, it will simply fly off into the ocean and detonate harmlessly. To get around this limitation, Russia has developed new generations of hypersonic weapons, including the KH-92, a nuclear-powered hypersonic cruise missile that is claimed to be able to stay airborne indefinitely and travel anywhere in the world within just hours. Now, this may sound like science fiction, but it's important to remember that nuclear propulsion isn't a new idea. While it's unclear whether these weapons will ever be deployed, it's clear that hypersonic weapons are becoming increasingly common, and that raises a lot of questions about how they'll be used in future conflicts. According to experts at the Congressional Research Service, hypersonic weapons are likely to be used for both strategic and tactical purposes. For example, hypersonic cruise missiles like the Kinzhal and KH-92 could be used to strike high-value targets deep within enemy territory, such as major military installations or command centers. Their speed and maneuverability make them difficult to intercept, meaning that they could be used to take out targets that are well defended by anti-ballistic missiles or other defensive systems. On the other hand, hypersonic glide vehicles like the Avangard could be used for more tactical purposes, such as engaging enemy troops or destroying their equipment. Their maneuverability and low-altitude flight paths make them challenging to detect and track, making them useful for precision strikes in contested airspace. Hypersonic weapons are also likely to be used as a form of deterrence. The speed and accuracy of these weapons mean that they could potentially be used for a decapitating strike against an enemy's leadership, which could discourage an attack in the first place. Additionally, hypersonic weapons are likely to be used in conjunction with other forms of warfare, such as cyber attacks and electronic warfare, to achieve a desired outcome without the need for large-scale kinetic strikes. Now, the question of cost is always a big one when it comes to military technology, and hypersonic weapons are no exception. According to a report by the Congressional Research Service, the development and deployment of hypersonic weapons has been estimated to cost hundreds of billions of dollars. However, it's important to note that this is spread out over several years and involves multiple different programs and platforms. Also, this cost is offset by the fact that hypersonic weapons can often do the job of several different types of weapons at once. So, while they may be expensive, they may ultimately prove to be cost-effective in the long run. Overall, hypersonic weapons represent a significant advancement in military technology, and they're likely to have a profound impact on the future of warfare. Their speed and maneuverability make them difficult to intercept, and their accuracy allows for precision strikes against high-value targets. As these weapons become more common, it will be interesting to see how militaries around the world adapt and evolve to counter this new threat. I'm the host. Make sure to swing by our site today and every day for all the latest in news, entertainment, and motivation from all around the force. If you got anything out of today's video, make sure to click like and subscribe down below and leave me a comment so I know what I should cover next. And, of course, don't forget to tap on that bell icon so you never miss a drop from us.